We wanted to create a place where people can come together and where you met people and discovered and built community. And that's what we've been doing. And it's been beautiful. So we opened House of Oliver not as a source of income, but as a place of community, and we broke rules.
And everybody just sat at this big long table together.
A couple of guys were smoking cigars and
Yeah.
barbecuing some food, and you had everyone bring a chair, and we fell in love with the moment, and went, this is what wine can do. You had different races, different ethnic backgrounds, you had different political backgrounds, you had different religions, and we were all there on one playing field, enjoying life, celebrating life together. And we thought, this is the power of a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
It can bring people together. So we were looking at wanting to do something. We fell in love with wine.
Yes.
And our very first winery we ever visited in Napa, California, Trefethen Vineyards. And I told you we were married, we had 2 girls at the time. And this is the first time we were in our early 20s.
Yeah.
First time we had ever been to Napa.
Yeah.
We were invited. We're
And
at
I didn't
Trefethen.
drink wine.
No.
I didn't drink any kind of
No
alcohol
alcohol.
beverage.
Such a good girl. And so here we are in Trefethen in this beautiful vineyard in Napa. And I told her, I said, if you find a bottle of wine you like.
It was a gorgeous event. Trefethen are amazing at putting on their
Beautiful.
events. And
I told you, if you find a bottle of wine,
yeah.
I'll buy it for you.
Yep.
And so you went on the hunt. Because I just wanted you to find a wine you liked. So that we could enjoy one
You
together.
just wanted me to taste everything.
Sure, that sounds good too. And so you went on a hunt. And you came back and said, I found a bottle of
something
wine.
I
One
liked.
wine that you liked. And you took me up there and you showed it to me. And it was their Halo wine, which is their most expensive bottle of wine. And at that time, a couple $100. And that would have bankrupted me. And you told me.
What did I say?
What did you say?
I said, it's okay, honey. I'd rather have baby clothes.
Baby clothes. So that
So we
started our journey.
we didn't get a halo that day.
No, we didn't. No, and it even took us a while after we had opened House of Oliver to get a Halo. But we've always loved Trefethen. But then we fell in love with wine, and wine. The fact that wine is generational, multi-generational, community, family, sophisticated, classy, sexy, everything that we love. And so we had gone on a journey, and we really wanted to find a way to bring community together.
House of Oliver has always been a dream of mine. Growing up, having a nan that worked in a pub in London, pubs in the UK are just, it's a community centre really. It's a place where people gather. It's a place where people meet their neighbour. They talk about what went on that week and how they're doing in their life. And reality is, in coming to America, which I love, a lot of the pubs weren't the place you wanted to take your family always. Yeah, the English pubs are a place of community, and that was a goal with House of Oliver. My husband and I, we enjoy wine, but we enjoy wine more with friends. And House of Oliver is a place where you get to open a bottle of wine with friends and just rediscover a moment. Like if you were at the winery, you know, months before, and all of a sudden you see that wine bottle on a menu and it's like, oh, I remember that place. Let's get that bottle. It brings that level of community. And that's what I missed about Europe, about UK, is there are so many places for community. And so that's why we wanted to create this place.
And then I just got an email about 10 minutes before I was supposed to go live that I want to take a moment and share with you. Even when we reached out to our property management here and said, hey, I was right on the phone with them, hey guys, The governor just said people shouldn't go out to eat. What do you think people are doing? They were like, what are you talking about? Our property management played like they had no clue what was going on in the world. I reached out to him and I said, no, this is affecting us, and this is affecting our ability. It's going to affect our ability to pay rent. Their response was, well, it's still a choice you get to make. You get to decide if you're going to stay open or close. He didn't make you close. It's your choice. In fact, he's only suggesting you go at 50%. Well, really, people are stopping coming, period, because of his suggestion, much less we're wanting to do things that keep people healthy. And they're like, oh, that's really good for you. It's still your choice. I reached out to him over a month ago, said, hey, we're not going to be able to pay our rent this month. Can we work a deal? Can we come up with a compromise? Can we somehow make something that works out where we could come to some sort of an agreement? What can we do to make things? We just signed a lease to expand into Who Bistro, and I can't even get inspections going on right now. What can we do to make this thing work? How can we work together? No response. Emailed him 5 times. Our rent was due yesterday. I get an email 30 minutes ago from our property management that said this: we have not received your rent. You have 4 days to pay your rent or we will start the eviction process. No comments, no love, no reaching out. 4 days. There are so many people rallying right now, helping one another, supporting one another, encouraging one another, and then you get a bully who threatens you. 4 days. The first thing I do is I call my wife, because she's awesome. Right? And then I call my lawyer, because he's awesome. And we know they can't get rid of us. They can't bully us. But what about people who don't have those options? What about people who don't have a spouse to call or somebody else to reach out to? For them to go out and say, you've got 4 days to be able to pay rent, and they didn't just send it to me. They sent it to every business in this complex who hadn't paid 100% of their rent. This is what we're dealing with. What about all the other spaces? We have people who are doing nails and eyelashes, and we have people. These are real people, real families, real situations. They're in the muck and mire of this stuff going on right now. They're stressed out, they're emotional. And when you own the business, you're not qualifying for stuff. I filled out every single paperwork for every single thing, and I've gotten 0 response from a single one of them. So we go through all of this. And they're going to turn around and threaten us that you have 4 days to pay your rent, or we're going to start the eviction notice. Tell you what, that's what a bully does. Now, we ain't going nowhere. I tell you what we are going to do. We're going to be here bringing you amazing food and an amazing service, and we're going to continue to keep our doors open as long as we possibly can. And then when this is all over, we're going to throw a party. My encouragement, and I would really appreciate you go on houseofoliver.com. Let us make you dinner this weekend. You go on to any of these other restaurants, you show them support. I'm gonna tell you what, it makes a difference when you go local. And you know what I wanna do? I wanna be there to support the littler guys. We're little guys, there's littler guys. I wanna be there for you. We're not on front lines of battle per se, but we are definitely in the trenches.
Roseville restaurateur Matthew Oliver expressing another challenge facing small businesses across the country tonight.
The business has been a well-known favorite here in Roseville for the past 5 years, but as many businesses face the unknown, this business says they're facing the possibility of eviction.
Oliver says that his small business is not the only one impacted by this situation. This plaza also houses other restaurants and even a salon.
Matthew Oliver couldn't contain his emotion on Facebook. He's fighting to keep his doors open at House of Oliver in Roseville, which he's owned for more than 5 years. His life and business are already upside down amidst the statewide stay-at-home order. Then this, when he couldn't make his April 15th rent payment.
But support, pray for us, because you know what I'm going to do? I am going to go to war. I'm going to go to battle. I'm going to be on the front lines of this because I ain't backing down. I'm not giving up. So when COVID hit, it was a sucker punch, gut punch, because we had no to-go menu. We had no takeout menu. In fact, our
whole concept was about socialization
and small bites
and bringing people together. And COVID
kept everybody apart.
You got to keep everybody apart.
Isolation, separation, vindication. I don't know what that means. But what we found was we had a small kitchen, the smallest kitchen. And our chef had basically said, no, I'm not doing to-go menu. Plus, our food didn't translate to go. So in a moment, it was either fire everybody or figure out what we were told at the time, 3 weeks to flatten the curve. Well, we wanted to help out. We want to flatten curves.
So we closed our doors and we went to go only, and we created a to-go menu basically overnight, working with.
And we almost killed our kitchen staff in the process.
Yeah.
I think that
it was a lot of stress.
I don't know what point of time people watch this at, but I think it's going to be easy for people to forget the chaos, the breakdowns,
the anxiety,
the fear that we went through,
of the unknowns.
So just got off the phone with another restaurateur buddy of mine, and just struggling during all this COVID, the unknown, the restrictions, and not sure if they're going to be able to stay open. So going to go out and talk to him and hopefully talk him off the wall and give him some encouragement, some hope. I don't quite know what to say during these times. Most people think that the COVID stuff is because of finances and being able to make it through financially. What they don't realize is there's actually a lot more. Finances, I think, is the least of it. We have employees that are going through stuff. There's emotional stuff, the fear, the anxiety, the worry, the unknown. We don't know what to do every day. And you don't know whether or not to buy food, not buy food. Are we to go or not to go? How do you stay relevant? How do you stay out there? How do you keep people safe? How do we keep our team safe? How do we keep ourselves safe? The government's not sure what they're doing. You don't know who you could trust. And information seems to change every day. It's just overwhelming, and it just makes you want to give up. So many things. So I don't know. We're gonna try to talk to him, and hopefully he'll stay in, because I'm tired of seeing places close and dreams destroyed, lives destroyed, and so we're gonna move forward. So throughout this pandemic, I've received numerous phone calls from other restaurateurs who've struggled, been battling, and it's been wonderful to see restaurants come together and look at ourselves not as competitors, but as partners, and really as to unify, to be stronger together.
Yeah.
Which we started at the very beginning. One of the first things we did was reach out to other restaurants and say, we don't know what we're doing. How are you doing it? And then to find out we weren't the only ones that didn't know what we were doing. There are days I'm trying to encourage them, and I'm wondering,
when you need the encouragement yourself.
How am I going to encourage me? Sometimes I'm telling them things where I'm like, do I believe this today?
Or you're telling them, but you're telling yourself at the same time.
I just don't know why we would want to open another thing right now in the midst of this chaos. It seems crazy. It seems ridiculous. In the midst of the pandemic, with everything going on, we don't even know what finances are going to look like next week, much less next month. I don't understand why we're even entertaining looking at some of these things.
I think we don't stop dreaming. I mean, we don't know what tomorrow looks like. We don't know what 3 months from now looks like. But what I do know is that we've had big dreams our whole life, and we've never let a situation stop us from actually walking it out. And I think if we've got these opportunities, we at least need to walk them out.
So the idea of opening another restaurant, we've been talking about it for years, and we're kind of crazy because we'll walk through opportunities until the door closes. I don't know if it's because of COVID or because people have seen us, but we're getting a lot of opportunities presented to us. And I'm not super excited about the idea of opening something else up, but I'm willing to look at it. So we are on our way to look at a couple of other locations that have been shared with us, possibilities to maybe put a House of Oliver, or to see maybe another idea. And it's kind of weird during this time, but we will go check it out and we'll see what happens. We've always loved Folsom. We lived in Folsom for 8 years.
Yeah.
We walked our kids down to Snook's Ice Cream. We'd get them an ice cream, and we'd walk up and down all the little shops. And so to get a call that there's a spot that they're thinking might be good for the Olivers.
Oh, we've got great memories down there.
Yeah, it was kind of a cool idea. So
I love the ice skating rink. We would always take the kids there.
And we've looked over the years for something that fits us. And so it's interesting to check out Folsom. I mean, there are parts of Folsom that's tough because, you know, during this pandemic, we've realized there's pros and cons with different counties, but we do love Folsom. And I think Folsom has so much character. I think that's what we're looking for. Character, community, people. So the Folsom location that we've been looking at and we're invited to walk, it's beautiful. I mean, it's ready, kind of turnkey, but it's not a House of Oliver, that's for sure.
It doesn't have a House of Oliver feel, but it is turnkey and it is beautiful.
Yeah, not a lot of work needs to be done, but it is gorgeous. The rooms, the space, the bar, the kitchen. I mean, it's got what we want it to have, but I'm not quite sure that it's the vision of what we're wanting to do next. Loomis has always had a place in our heart.
Yeah.
Our kids go to Del Oro.
Yeah.
Our 2 daughters graduated from Del Oro. I mean, we love going down. You know, you have Snook's in Sutter Street and you have Taylor's on Taylor. Loomis has that charm and that quaintness, and
they're so friendly.
So friendly.
I mean, there's such a community. I remember the first time going to one of the football games at Del Oro.
Yeah.
And like in Loomis, everybody comes out. You've got the kids, you've got the grandkids, you've got grandma
And the
grandpas,
grandparents, yeah.
and the aunts and uncles.
Everybody's
and
crazy.
If you're coming from another school, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because you hit Loomis and it's like everybody's there.
But we've always wanted to have a spot in Loomis,
Yeah.
and we've been trying. The problem is the space that we are looking at, it doesn't even have a roof over part of the building.
And I don't want to have to fix that problem. Please don't choose.
Well,
Don't
the
listen.
space has got water that's been pouring into it for years, just sitting empty.
Yeah, it sounds like a nightmare.
It's a lot. It's going to take a lot of.
I don't know that I can face that one.
But it's beautiful. It's right where we've always wanted a spot.
I know.
But
is
maybe
it the right spot?
maybe more than we can handle.
Maybe, yeah.
It's wild how we have a connection with all the different locations we've been looking at. The Lincoln location, our chef's been trying to get us into Lincoln for the last 3 years. And we weren't on the hunt for this spot in Lincoln. What's interesting is the location was actually part of the reason why we weren't in downtown Lincoln, because it's so beautiful. And we were staying away a little bit because we didn't want to compete, because that really held a lot of the essence of what we want to do. And we weren't looking for it. And to be honest, we were in talks of one of the other locations when the space became available. So we were trying to get other people connected in here to the Lincoln spot.
Yeah.
It's wild how something can plant a seed, and then you just, slowly begins to grow. Looking at the Lincoln location, our heart was try to get someone in here because it's beautiful, good people, to help the previous owner, to work with the previous business owner, to work with the owner, and to take care of Lincoln.
Worked so hard over the years. It's growing. They're really eager to make the changes necessary to infuse the city.
Yeah, and see businesses grow.
And it's evident. I mean, when you're out there, you feel that.
I think the problem is the moment we walked in the Lincoln building, we fell in love. And it's hard. The moment I saw you, I fell in love, and now it's 22 years later. The moment we walked in here, we fell in love, and it was like, okay, well, now we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Almost 15,000 square feet, 3 stories, 2 restaurants, 2 bars,
Yeah.
theater, a club room,
Yeah.
a vault, a brewery, and a smoke room.
Yeah. And I feel like you turned to me and said, okay, Siobhan, make it happen.
That's right. It's exciting when we met with the city, before we've done anything and said, what do you think? And the city has done everything you can imagine to say, yes, we want, they're pro-business, they're pro-dreaming, they're pro-ideas, they're pro-ingenuity, they're pro-creativity, they're pro, and it makes you want to be a part. You want to do more for a city that cares that much.
Yes.
So it looks like we're opening an Oliver's